Hey guys, welcome back to my channel again. My name is Arsalan and today we are on day 36 of solving the Python object-oriented programming system questions. So if you guys are very new to this playlist, let me give you a very brief introduction of what this playlist is all about. So in this playlist, we have been solving questions based on object-oriented programming system to develop our logic, to develop our understanding on object-oriented programming system. So we started from a very basic question. As you can see on the screen that we started from day one with a very basic question, and we started from very basic question, and then we move on to day 2, day 3, day 4 while increasing the level and difficulty of the questions. So we just have started with a clear understanding of why we use object-oriented programming system and how it is used and what is object, what is class, and then we created a very basic question and we also solved a very basic question. Then we moved on to day 2 where we just increase the level of the question while understanding the more concept of object-oriented programming system question. Then furthermore we just increase the level like anything, and then we introduce many concept of object-oriented programming system including inheritances, object classes. Moreover, we will be covering more topics like polymorphism, encapsulation, etc. But today's topic is multiple inheritance. So in inheritance there are many types of inheritance in which we have been discussing a few topics like multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and then single inheritance, hybrid inheritance, and hierarchical inheritance. And today's topic to discuss is multi-level inheritance. So we have a question based on multi-level inheritance. We have already solved many questions based on single inheritance, like on day 17 we started with the concept of single inheritance as you can see on the screen, and then we did solved question based on it, and then we moved on to multiple inheritance. We just covered many questions on multiple inheritance to gain the understanding of multiple inheritance, and then we now moved on to day 36 where we are solving questions, more questions on multi-level inheritance. So far we have covered so far three inheritance. Single inheritance has been covered, multiple inheritance has been covered, and now we are on multi-level inheritance. So don't get confused between multiple inheritance and multi-level inheritance. Both are very different things. So this topic is covering multi-level inheritance. As you can see on the question, there is a question mentioned on the screen which is displayed on the screen. So we will be starting this question. So just before starting to solve this question, please do subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, press the bell icon button, and bookmark the playlist so that you can get the updates from the channel. So let's start this tutorial, and we have a question: create a class called product with attributes name and price. Implement a method called display info that prints out the name and price of the product. So what we will be doing here is, first of all, we will be creating a class name. That is, first of all, let me write a comment here, that is multi-level inheritance question. I will be just putting this thing on top here so that you will be knowing that it's a multi-level inheritance question. And now I will be writing here as parent class, and now parent class name is product, so I will be writing class product. Now in this class product we have to create a class product with attributes name and price. So we will be just calling names and price. So we will be creating the instance attributes. So to create instance attribute, I will be writing def init and enter it. It will be just auto writing it for me, and inside this self, inside this parenthesis, I have to I have to pass two arguments. First is name and second is price. So two arguments it will be taking, and I have to name these two arguments as self.name is equals to name and self.price is equals to price. Now these two instance attribute will be coming into my method, that is def display info, and we will be just printing this value. Implement a method that prints out the name and price of the product. So we will be printing it according to the question, that print f string the name, the or I can just write name, and I will be saying that self dot name, and I will be putting a line break here so that name and product come in two lines, and I will be writing product and put a colon here, and I will be giving a space here, and then I will be writing self dot product. Now if I just create an instance here for a temporary instance of product here to show you how the method would be running, so I will be just writing product here and taking two instance attribute as name and product, name and price. It's not product, it's price. It's price, and then I will be writing the name of the product. Let's say it's salt and the price is 15. And if I say that a dot display info and run this code, so you will be seeing a code here, a is equals to product a salt a dot display info. Yeah, so we have to close it by parenthesis since it's a method here. So now if I run this, you will be seeing name salt, product 15. I have to write price here as well, so price. Now if I run this, it will be all okay. Okay, so now let's create another child class. So sorry, it's first child class. So we will be writing child class 1. All right, and I will be just removing this, or I can just comment down this. Now I will be I have to just create an child class. So create a child class called electronics that inherits from the product class. All right, so first of all, let's create the class, then we can just implement the instance attribute and method stuff later on. And that name of the class is electronics. Now since it's a child class, so it will be inheriting from parent class. So to inherit from parent class, we have to close it by parenthesis, and inside those parentheses we have to write the name of the parent class. So we will be writing product here, product. Now we will be closing it by colon here, and now we will be having to we have to write instance attribute here, def init here. Now the moment I put enter here, it will be all auto written here, and the super init function will be written here. Now what is the super init function? I have been discussing it from very starting, that super init function allow us to use the functionality of the parent class. So I have discussed this so many times in depth, and I have been discussing in all the tutorials wherever it comes. So super init function allow us to just use the functionality of the parent class. So it will allow us to use the name and price of the parent class, so we can use the name and price in our child class. So now we have to pass another argument inside the parent inside the child class, add an additional attribute called brand. Now we have to put an additional attribute as brand here, and we will be saying that self dot brand is equals to brand. Now we have to I think create a method here now. Yeah, implement a method called display brand that prints out the brand of the electronic product. Now let's create a method here, display brand, and close it by parenthesis, writing a self inside those parentheses, and then we will be printing out the brand. So I will be writing f string here, and I will be saying the, or instead writing brand directly and putting a colon here, and I will be saying that self dot brand. Now I think that is all done here. This is all we have to do in our child class electronics that inherits. Let me read out again. The question says create a child class called electronics that inherits from the product class. Add an additional attribute called brand to represent the brand of the electronic product. Implement a method called display brand that prints out the brand of the electronic product. So we only have to print out the brand of the electronic product as they have already and clearly mentioned in the question. Now we have to create a grandchild called smartphone that inherits from the electronics. So now we can just create a child class second child class 2 that class smartphone, and it will be now inheriting from electronics. So we will be using electronics inside our parentheses instead of using product, because this smartphone is now inheriting from electronics. So this is how a multi-level goes. First of all, there is a parent class product, then electronic inherits from product, then smartphone inherits from electronics. So this is just a multi-level. So first level is product, then second level is electronic, third level is smartphone, and so on and so forth. If something else is coming later, some later on class, if you want to add, then you can also add some later on classes. So now we have to write instance attribute here, def init here, and the moment I put enter here, automatically all the things will be coming up here. And then I have to write create a child class a smartphone that inherits from electronic class. Add an additional attribute called screen size. So now we have to add an additional attribute called screen size. So now I'll be writing here screen size, and I have to write self dot screen size is equals to screen size, and I think now print I have to create a method here. Add an additional attribute called screen to represent the screen size of the smartphone. Implement a method called display screen size that prints out the screen size of the smartphone. Now let's create a method here that prints out the size of the screen. So I will be writing self here, of course, and I will be printing out the screen size. So I will be writing screen size colon colon, and then I will be writing self dot screen size. Now I think that is all we have to do in the question. So now lastly we have to create an instance here. So now we will be creating an instance here, creating an instance here, now what creating and it's and instead of and create an instance of the smartphone class with specific values for name, price, brand, and screen size. Call the display info method to print out the name and price of the smartphone. Then call the display brand method to print out the brand, and finally call the display screen size method to print out the screen. So we have to call all the three methods that has been declared. So first of all, I will be having to create a method. So let's say uh, uh, iPhone, or let's say uh, Samsung is equals to smartphone. All right, so now this will be taking 4 arguments, 1 2 3 4. So first of all, it's the name. So let's say S7 is the name, and then we have to give the price. So let's say it's 15,000, and then a brand, it's Samsung. And then we have to give the screen size. So let's say its screen size is 10 inch, maybe 10 inch, I don't know exactly. So maybe it could be 10 inch, and 10 inch into let's say 10 inch into maybe 5 inch, or let's say 7 inch. It's just example, I do not know exactly, so just do not correct me with the size, or you can write exact size. I do not remember, or I do not know exactly. I'm just writing it random values. So now we have created an instance here. Samsung is equals to smartphone of we have created an instance of smartphone, that is Samsung. Now if I what we have to do it according to the question, we have to we have to call each individual method that we have created. So now what we will be doing, first of all, we will be calling display screen size, then we will be calling display brand, then we will be calling display info. So we will be calling all the three methods. So I will be writing Samsung dot display brand, then display, I will be just first of all calling display info instead. So display info and display brand, and control shift alt arrow key down, display screen size. All right, so now if I run this, all of the three methods that we have created, all of the three methods would be called here. That is name S7, price Samsung, price 15,000, brand Samsung, screen size 15 inch, x into x means into 7 inch. I hope that now you have understood this question, guys. If you have not understood this question, you can ask me in the comment section. Thank you guys for watching this video today, and see you next time.